You know, Lactoderm could be a Pokemon. When's the next generation coming out? I gotta email Game Freak.
That's what I'll name the next Miltank.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Lactoderm.
I always think to myself, this time I'm going to come up with something interesting that relates to the episodes we're watching, and then I never do to open the podcast. And so, you know what? Fuck it. That's going to be the opening to the podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite Pokemon podcast. It's Kill A Delibird, where we watch Pokemon, and then we talk about it, and it's a good time. And then Graham, my co-host, is here, who's gonna make some serious stretches to compare this shit to some literature, and then we'll rate the episodes and we'll rank them amongst some of your favorites, and it'll probably get a much better score. Like I said, my co-host is here. I'm Callan, and Graham is here with me again as per usual. Graham, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and I love that
Excellent.
You mentioned serious stretches already, because I am really wanting to take after my role model, Dhalsim from Street Fighter. You aware of who he is? He can stretch his arms really far across the stage, all through just the power of yoga. He yells yoga flame, yoga teleport, and it's like he has all of these magical powers because he did yoga.
I'm more of an Elastigirl type guy.
Oh, Incredibles. Okay, what about Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece? He can stretch his arms. I love Monkey D. Luffy.
You're just saying words now. I don't think that's a real
No,
character.
This is real. This is real. This is another stretchy guy. And then there's Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic
Armstrong.
Four. Stretch Armstrong. Nice. The children's toy.
Have you seen those videos where people cut open Stretch Armstrong and see how much water it can hold before it bursts?
No, that sounds grotesque.
It's
and twisted.
fantastic. It's great.
Does so his face gets all bloated and weird looking?
No, his body gets really big, but his hands and feet and head stay the same size.
Oh, because it's the
size.
middle that kind of expands.
It's so good.
That is very interesting. Please do not do that to Dhalsim. That would be quite grotesque. I don't even main Dhalsim. I don't know why I'm bringing him up. For anybody out there who's been playing Street Fighter 6, I've been maining Lily, who is also being talked about as the lowest of low tiers, hoping she gets a buff. Hey man,
how dare you not play the meta?
Playing a low tier is great because you can just blame the character if you lose, right? And you're not gonna get nerfed, buff, or anything. But yeah. I'm kind of thinking about changing. So I was messing around with a couple other characters. Messing around with my boy E Honda before this. My wife is partially Japanese heritage, so she thinks that I just am playing as a Japanese person to impress her. We'll see if that's true.
I've never played a Street Fighter game in my life, I don't think. So I
you've never really played a traditional fighting game,
I've
right?
never really been into fighting games.
Smash Brothers
other than
is
Smash.
the most. Yeah, you got on there.
Well, Smash is unique. I don't know if I just don't think I really care for the traditional fighting game genre. I like how different Smash is. I think that's why I like
do
it.
too, because I also like Smash Brothers. It is kind of funny how Smash seems to sit within this sort of bubble within the fighting game community. It's people will play Smash and only Smash, and people who play other fighting games don't really play Smash. I think that I am maybe unique in liking multiple fighting games because I'm casual, right? I'm not into the esports of any of these. That's next level. And plus, I'm too old for that.
Yeah, you're fucking ancient, aren't you?
Yeah, that reaction time. I don't think I could develop it now.
In your 30s? Jesus Christ, what is that?
I read a paper at some point that was kind of looking at StarCraft 2 esports competitors and showing that your reaction times fall off to the point where, after 24, you might as well not bother. You're just not going to be at a disadvantage after the age of 24.
Fuck StarCraft esports. The only esport that matters is Excel spreadsheeting.
Okay, what is that?
That's exactly what you think it is.
Is that a real thing?
It's a real thing.
Okay, with macros and everything,
Yeah,
or do you need to manually do it?
I have no idea. All I know is that it's a real thing, and the one TikTok I saw of it was fucking hilarious.
That sounds like a meme. Is this real?
No, people actually do it. Look it up.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm kind of intrigued. I might have to look into that.
Look it up right now.
I might have to compete.
I'm not lying.
I might have to compete.
I can barely add numbers on a spreadsheet, so I would not be very good at it.
Okay, well, I typed Excel esports, and there's a League of Legends team called Excel, so that's
Well,
not it.
Search spreadsheet esports.
Financial Modeling World Cup.
See, that's incredible.
The Microsoft Excel World Championship of 2023. What the heck is this?
And now you're going to go down a real deep rabbit hole, aren't you?
I wonder if I could do this.
How well do you know spreadsheeting?
Well, like, I don't want to get too into my actual job, but I work in data analytics quite a bit, but more from a programmatic point of view. There's some point where we all just realize that we're Chandler from Friends, where we have some weird abstract mathematical job and no one gets what it is.
Transponster?
Yes, I'm a transponster. Yeah, okay, this is really weird. There's classic, like, Vegas esports arena. There's even, like, some Pokemon paraphernalia in the background of some of these shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is this? Wow.
The wonderful world of spreadsheet esports.
Ooh, there's a Canadian who's a top 5 competitor.
Hell Michael Canada
Jarman.
Represent. Let's fucking go.
You know, I always joke about us pivoting and making this podcast something entirely different. I do not want it to become an Excel spreadsheets esports
Are you sure?
podcast, as fascinating as that is. I mean, I guess we could. Why not? You convinced me. Are you sure? That's all it takes. That's a good debate these days.
It might be tough considering I don't know anything about it, and I don't really care to.
Well, that would be our reverse to Kill A Delibird podcast, where here you're walking me through the world of Pokemon, and there I would be walking you through the world of data analytics. I would put myself to sleep, though.
You'd put the listeners to sleep.
Yeah, that would be like the side effect, you know, like how they always say there's stories about how Viagra was created to help with heart conditions, and they found out it gives men boners. That'd be our podcast would be the Viagra of podcasts.
in a bit of a different way, I think.
Yeah, puts people to sleep.
Yeah, I don't think it would have the.
If podcast gave people boners, that would be a real problem. Ugh.
All right, so what episodes are we looking at today?
Well, okay, so today's episodes have this. I kind of thought these sucked. I'm going to step forward. I wasn't a huge fan, but then I reflected on them. I learned more about the episodes. I don't think they suck. I actually think they fit into a nice piece, but they don't translate that well. And the reason is that they are about some Japanese holidays that we don't have in the West, and that the translations don't really explain that well. So we're looking at episode 54, Princess versus Princess, and episode 55, Purr-fect Hero.
The Purr-fect Hero.
And both of them are about holidays. So I started reflecting on holidays. You want to hear about my reflections? Do you know where I'm going when I talk about reflecting?
Did you do a study?
I looked into holidays, and really I was thinking about our own podcast. You know, really our podcast has a holiday, right? Our first podcast, that would be in January. That's the anniversary of TKAD. International holiday. Not a great holiday, right? Kind of a crappy holiday. So I have a list here. I have a list here I compiled of the top 10 worst holidays.
Oh, excellent.
Okay. Are you ready for it?
Now, are these ones real? These could totally be real.
No. Should I disclose?
You mean yes, they are.
I mean yes, but no, but yes, but no. Confused? Thank you.
Gotcha.
All right. Number 10. Reverse Labor Day, where people have to work more. Reverse Labor Day. That's a terrible holiday.
16-hour days for everyone.
Number 9. The royal coronations of the Burger King and Dairy Queen. When it's something a little different. Royal
I'd
coronations.
Celebrate that.
The tastiest holiday on this list by far. By far. Which leads us to number 8. Not a tasty holiday at all. The International Light Beer and Cigarettes Day. That's for all the dads out there. Light Beer and Cigarettes Day. Okay, we're going to get into some holidays next that really bring up things that you kind of dislike in life. So here we go. Number 7. When you drop a fry down the side of your seat in your car day.
Oh, no. Oh, I hate
horrible?
that.
Well, this
That's
is
the
a day
worst.
to commemorate that. And then you don't find it for like a year later when you're
all the
cleaning your
fries
car.
that we lost in the abyss of our car.
R.I.P. Press F in the chat for the abyss fries.
In the abyss fries. I love that concept. That's great.
Abyss fries.
The abyss fries.
You want to count me down?
6? Are we at 6?
Number 6. Stupid Holidays Day. A day to commemorate stupid
put them all
holidays.
Put them all together in one day, get them out of the way.
Put them all together.
Okay. Hot Dog Day, Pull and Peel Twizzler Day, Talk Like a Pirate Day. Get them all done in one go.
Get them all done. Number 5. When you are thirsty and have to pee at the same time day. Terrible feeling.
The best part about these could totally be real.
How could they be real?
With the amount of stupid fucking holidays that exist out there, they could be real.
Imagine the International Society for when you are thirsty and have to pee at the same time. It's a very serious condition. Millions of people suffer from it for a few minutes and then resolve it if they have access to water and somewhere to piss.
Number 4?
Number 4. When you are tired, so you drink a lot of coffee and it just makes you aware of your beating heart, but you are still tired day.
See, I don't know if coffee even affects me, so I can't relate to that.
Oh, you can't relate to this one. Sometimes I'll try to fuel me up with caffeine and I feel like a skeleton just being flown through a wormhole. It's like I'm still dead, but I'm moving at the speed of light.
I've been thinking about trying to cut caffeine out of my diet lately just to see how it actually does affect me.
How it affects you?
But I am scared of caffeine headaches. I don't want to have to deal with that.
That's the hardest part. You basically got to write off a day or two to get over the withdrawal symptoms. And then you'll be good. But what you got to do is you got to wean yourself off. Like try things like tea, you know?
Yeah. Number 3.
Number 3. That skin that gravy develops if you don't stir it day. You know that skin?
I hate that skin.
Yeah, I hate that skin.
It's just so gross.
Remember that these are the worst holidays. So just a public uncomfortable phenomenon.
It's just so fucking stupid.
Thank you. I try to elevate the world with stupidity here on To Kill a Delibird.
Give us number 2.
Number 2. Playing chicken with a fart in public day. This is when you don't know. You're really rolling the dice on that fart. Is it a fart or a poo? We're a little bit ways from home and we just loaded up on chili. What's going to happen? Oh, you're dying. I love it.
It's bits like this that make me wish this was a video podcast and you could see me right now. So I'm actually dying.
Maybe we should switch to video. We'll see. One day, maybe. One day.
Right,
okay.
What is number 1?
Number 1. Satirical Lists Day.
Oh, fuck off.
This is the holiday that I am actually a chair on the International Board of Satirical Lists. Me and David Letterman, my best friend. And we I was going to say,
are we going to do David Letterman fucking...
I don't know if you've been listening to this podcast, but we basically do.
Yeah. Style top 10s. There we go. That's the word I was looking for.
We basically do, Kellen. Just usually they're top 5s, but today was a top 10.
That's true. We've never really branded them as a top 10 list or a top 5 list or whatever, but yeah, you're right.
That was one of my inspirations for these opening bits.
That makes sense.
Was Letterman.
Ooh, I think my favorite is the skin that forms on gravy day.
Me too, because it's a thing that just doesn't get talked about enough. It's an underappreciated phenomenon. We all suffer through it, but no one brings it up. Do we even have a name for that?
I don't know.
I know we need a name for that layer of fat that covers the gravy. And you're like, this went from super appetizing to kind of unappealing.
I'm not seeing a name for it. No, it's just milk skin.
Well, we know what we have to do with our lives, Kellen. There is a serious deficiency in the English language that needs a fixin'.
Milk skin, or lactoderm, refers to a sticky film of protein that forms on top of dairy milk and foods containing dairy milk, such as hot chocolate and some
ever could have expected. Lactoderm. That is a very disgusting phrase.
Okay, we've been here for a while already, and we need to talk some Pokemon. I think we should just bounce into that.
You know, Lactoderm could be a Pokemon. When's the next generation coming out? I gotta email Game Freak.
That's what I'll name the next Miltank.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Lactoderm.
All right, let's talk Pokemon. Episode 54, Princess versus Princess, before we get sidetracked again.
Yeah.
All right, so the gang is in some new town somewhere. It is Misty's favorite holiday today. It is the Princess Festival. It's the one day of the year that the guys have to do everything the women say. James remarks, "How is that different from any other day of the year?" Got him.
Hey, your
Fucking got him.
James is coming along. That was a good James.
It's very soft and not very enunciative, I don't think.
That's true. It's
Kind of
just
nasally a little bit.
It's like a worn out mattress.
By the end of this podcast, when we're finished in 10 years, I'll be able to do all the voices. That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. That'd be beautiful. Also, learn the cast from Scooby-Doo. I feel like that's pretty flexible, too. I would love to do a Shaggy. I can't do a Shaggy.
Zoink, Scoob.
Oh, God,
Oh.
Scoob. So, yeah, this is a celebration for women. All the stores have discounts for women. Men carry packages. So this is the first of the 2 episodes that are about festivals. I dug a little bit into what this is about because the episode itself, I thought, felt like, okay, this is like very stereotypically a little bit on the offensive side, even in that 90s way again. Like, okay, it's like a Women's Day, so it's all about like shopping and desserts. Like, okay, this is an older festival in Japan called Dolls Day, sometimes known as Girls' Day. That's a religious festival that is commemorated or kind of around the display of these ornamental dolls. So that is kind of what this episode was supposed to be for. And originally, episode was supposed to be aired around Girls' Day, I believe. But with the Porygon incident, it ended up being shifted.
Yeah, and then it caused me to have a mental breakdown over Jessie having a lickitung earlier than she's supposed to.
The butterfly effect at work.
Yeah. In a way, I'm slightly more okay with it now because it created a 2-episode kind of holiday arc for us to cover, which is kind of interesting.
That's
like,
why
there's a
I
running
went
theme
from not
here.
really liking these episodes to appreciating them in a different way. Because this is a pair of episodes that has some cultural significance. It's not a cultural significance that I'm that educated in, but it allowed me to learn a bit. So I appreciate it for that.
The continuity errors, I still fucking hate, though. So.
Well, that's something you're going to have to live with.
The lickitung one was not that big, but Misty doesn't have Togepi in this episode.
That I noticed too, and I thought that was a little bit weird. It's like she just stuck him in the daycare so she could party.
No, she's supposed to have him.
I know, that was a joke.
Okay.
Don't worry. I respect the continuity errors.
You fucking better.
Yeah.
So there's many discounts and sales for women during the Princess Festival. The men get to pay full price and carry the packages, which is what men love doing, I hear.
Yeah, and girls eat free, guys pay.
Yeah, they're eating. Misty got her free food. Brock hits on a waitress. Surprise.
Yeah.
Misty points them towards like this big sign behind them. They think that she's pointing at this actor dude from a film or something, some fuck guy. But no, she pointed at the other sign. There's a big sale. It says big sale, 75 to 90% off. Doesn't say where the sale is. Just says
or
big
what
sale.
the sale's for.
Yeah.
Steak knives, 70% off. Oh, that's pretty good.
That's a pretty good deal.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I would take that. Okay, let me cut to Team Rocket. They're in some clothing store where they start to do their motto. Jesse's doing a quick change act. Very impressive.
A lot of different outfits going on during the chant. Well, Meowth and James are kind of bored, repressed, crying, tossing flowers. Pretty good chant this episode. Pretty funny.
The guys in this episode really took me back to when I was a child and having to wait at malls for my sister to be done in the clothing stores.
Oh, wow.
Real shit.
Yeah, and if there wasn't a game store in the mall, you die.
The only store I cared about was EB Games. And then after that, I was like, okay, well, we're going to sit around for 2 hours waiting for them to finish
EB
the
Games,
clothing
that's
stores.
a GameStop in Canada for all you Americans.
Which is now GameStop in Canada.
Yeah, now it is GameStop, but
change.
that only happened like a couple years ago. So
not even, I don't think.
A year ago?
Very, very recent.
It's pretty recent, yeah.
Anyway, we hear Jesse bought a bunch of stuff for the boss to try to make up for the fact that they have not caught Pikachu yet.
That there are no half-price Pikachus on sale.
And then we see it. The continuity error from before, it's tough. In physical form, it's lickitung, baby. It emerges from the bushes.
It just walks up from the bushes. This is a wild lickitung, right? Just doing its thing.
Yep. Now, lickitung is an eldritch horror beyond any comprehension. It is this pink dude with a long fucking tongue, and that's about it.
Yeah, he's like a hairless pink translucent skin,
Chunky pink reptile.
Long-tongued Chungus from the sewers. I think Lickitung might be one of my favorite Pokemon.
I love Lickitung. It's
Me
so
too.
funny.
He's weird in an endearing way.
People hate on its evolution, though, and I love its evolution.
Oh, I'm not aware there was an evolution. How long does the tongue get?
I don't know how long, if it gets longer. But
I'm surprised the Dex didn't pull out some bullshit like, and this is the longest tongue in the history of the universe.
Well, it pulls it out later that it's twice the length of its body.
Right, but they're not like, this tongue is longer than its intestines, or some like weird lofty claim.
So, okay, I'm sending you a picture of Lickitung's evolution. This is Licky Licky.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that's a lot.
I love it.
All right, kids, look up Licky Licky online. Make sure you type Licky Licky Pokemon.
Might end up on some sites
me, or
here.
Does it have a Wi-Fi symbol on its belly?
Oh, it does.
Only 3 bars.
Well,
not great signal.
It was introduced in Generation 4, which is the generation that introduced wireless play to Pokemon.
Oh, that is not a coincidence.
So there you go.
So Licky Licky is the spirit of poor Wi-Fi signals.
Mm-hmm.
He really haunts your internet.
That was number 11 on the bad holidays list. Bad Wi-Fi day.
Unplug and
reset the router day.
Reset the router day. Thank you.
Back to the episode. This Lickitung comes out and he rolls all of Jesse's food into his tongue and chows down on it. Like he unravels his tongue, takes all the food in it, and then rolls it back up into his mouth.
What an ability.
Where does this tongue go? That's my question. Like, how does it fit this tongue inside himself?
I think he's got like a mouth sack that holds it.
Or is there like a portal? The portal to hell or something? That's where the tongue comes from, I think.
The portal to hell is inside Lickitung. Doom Eternal 2's plot is a Lickitung gets killed, and the portal to hell innate to it is opened on Earth.
How else do you have a tongue this long other than it being straight from hell itself?
Ooh, Hell Tongue. What an ability. That should be one of its moves, Hell Tongue.
He eats all the food, and then he tries to eat the clothes Jesse bought, but they're not good, so he spits those out. Lickitung has standards.
Good taste.
And so Jesse sicks Arbok on it, and Lickitung licks it, and it goes down. This lick is shown in this episode to be, like, ultra deadly.
Yeah, it just kills.
Immediately. It licks it dead, so Jesse throws a Pokeball at it, catches it, no problem.
Yeah, without even doing anything.
Yeah.
Just captures it. So, is there a lick move in the games?
Yeah, and it's fucking awful.
That's often what you say. A lot of stuff that they make kind of like fun or dramatic in the show does not have a lot of utility in game.
Lick is like 30 base power or something, and that's not good.
And what does it do? Nothing? Just an attack?
It's a ghost move, and it can paralyze. Like, the paralysis is good.
So it's sort of the paralysis that they're portraying, but it exaggerates what paralysis can do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
paralysis
base 20.
just makes you skip moves in game, right?
Yeah.
But in the show here, it just takes out the Arbok. The Arbok's like, I'm dead.
Yeah. Status conditions in the show are very, like, ultimate and incredible moves, when in the game they're not that bad.
Yeah, they're navigatable. All right, so Jessie wants to give her credit cards a good workout after that.
Back to the gang. Misty is fighting with a bunch of other women for these clothes, while the guys sit around immensely bored. Misty and Jessie find this nice blue flowery fabric or dress or whatever, and they're fighting over it. They want it. Jessie decides they're gonna have a battle to decide who gets this dress, but in the distraction, another woman takes the dress or whatever it is.
A woman that I vaguely think we've seen before in like maybe the Jigglypuff episode or something. I feel like they've used this design before.
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't put it past them.
Some good lines here while the boys are just hanging out. Ash goes, "Never knew shopping was such a dangerous sport." And James reveals to the audience that he's not tough enough to be a woman. We know, James. We know.
So we hear the contest is about to start. We hadn't heard about that. The contest is the main event of the Princess Festival. The winner of the contest gets a collection of princess dolls and a photo with some actor dude that was mentioned earlier in the episode that was on that
Fiorello Cappuccino.
Yeah, what a name. Jesus Christ.
Fiorello Cappuccino. And he is throughout the episode now, and I don't know what to make of him. I guess he's a himbo.
We'll get to him in a second.
Yeah.
All the participants of this contest are on the stage in their fancy outfits. The guys do
Japanese princesses.
Yes, the guys all do seem to be quite enamored by their female counterparts.
Oh, they're doing good. Yeah, they clean up well. And there's some respect.
So then we see the hosts of this event. One of the hosts is your typical like sports commentator dude.
Yeah, and he's got a good line I want to read off here. And the winner of our contest must be as poised as a jinx, sit as serenely as a jigglypuff, and possess the charm and grace of an oddish. Now let's meet our Princess Festival contestants.
And the other host is this actor, Fiorello Cappuccino, or whatever his name is.
Right, and all he does is just say, Italian words occasionally. He'll be like, ciao.
Gracias.
Montebello. I don't really get what he's about. But
I think he is supposed to be the heartthrob actor whose only personality trait is being hot.
Yeah, I think so. He's a himbo. Have you heard that term?
Yeah.
A male bimbo.
A himbo is specifically, they have more personality traits. They're respectful to women, and they're fucking stupid. Those are the personality traits of a himbo.
But this we know so little about him.
Yeah, this guy's he's just hot, and that's it. That's all we know.
And he's got a badass name, Fiorello Cappuccino. That sounds like a new Starbucks item. Oh, I'd like the Grande Fiorello Cappuccino half sweet.
Now, do we think that's his birth name, or did he change it for professional reasons?
Yeah, his real name is Mike
Bill.
Todd. Yeah.
Just Bill, no last name.
He actually doesn't know any Italian. That's why he just says ciao.
Gracias. He thinks that's Italian.
Yeah.
So we see the princess doll set that the winner of the contest will win. And I want this bad.
That's pretty cool. Right, all the Pokemon designs, but as kind of ornamental dolls.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. And this layout of having the different rows. So it's got these different rows that the dolls are on with this red fabric. And that is kind of the traditional ornamental doll set that is used at this festival. The festival, Japanese called Hinamatsuri. Yeah, that I was mentioning earlier.
So the princess contest, we learn, is apparently a tournament. It's another tournament, a battle bracket. They get 4 Pokemon to battle. The winner will take home this beautiful, beautiful doll set. Misty has more than 4 Pokemon, but she doesn't have much in terms of type coverage. So she begs Ash and Brock to use their Pokemon. They're not sure about it, but Pikachu is totally in.
Yeah, he jumps in first.
I love Pikachu and Misty's relationship.
Oh,
it's adorable.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know if we've really talked about that.
A homie vibe there.
Misty is Pikachu's favorite by far.
Well, I think that they both have this love of fun that Ash and Brock don't, right? Ash and Brock are so outcome focused that they don't really just know how to enjoy things. And Misty and Pikachu, on the other hand, they're the ones who they'll put their feet up, they'll have a fruity drink, they'll just enjoy life a bit more.
Yeah.
And I think they bond over that next to their more serious, dour companions.
And so we get some backstory here from Misty. Her sisters always had their own doll sets, but all she ever got were the broken hand-me-downs. And so now this is her opportunity to have something that is hers and only hers.
Oh, yeah, because she's got the 3 sisters that we saw at Cerulean City episode.
And as the youngest of 4 siblings, you know what? I feel this.
Do you relate to Misty?
Well, in this context,
Did you grow up in a water gym?
I wish.
Oh, no, not that part. You relate to the siblings part. Got it.
Yeah, no, none of my siblings are Olympic divers, unfortunately.
Yeah, with a sea lion as a pet.
Yeah. But the hand-me-down part, yeah, I relate to that quite a bit.
Yeah, did you get some patched up pants occasionally?
Nothing that was straight up broken, but I was always I want new things. And, parents are like, we have new things at home, and the new things at home are that meme.
Yeah, I'm sure there were some bonuses too, though, because you also got to play some of the games that were just lying around the house, which you wouldn't have been exposed to so young.
Yeah.
A la Pokemon Red, which has led you to make this podcast.
Quit using logic on me. That's
I'm
not
not really using logic. I'm just It's back to that butterfly effect.
Yeah.
If you hadn't gotten hand-me-downs, would we be here today?
Well, maybe not.
No.
Yeah, the guys don't get this, though. Brock thinks it's a girl thing. Ash thinks it's a Misty thing. And as such, he gets beaten over the head by Misty.
Like usual.
Classic moment.
Yeah,
so she's going to take in Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Vulpix, and her own Starmie. And so we go into the tournament. It's Battle 1. Misty versus some other person whose name we don't know. It's Kingler versus Bulbasaur.
Kingler versus Bulbasaur. So this team lineup, this is like one of the first times where they've really said in the show, having a diverse team of different types is important.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of sometimes forget to bring up type matching, even though it's like the main mechanic of Pokemon battles.
Yeah, it's a lot of, I'm just going to use this move, and it's going to kill you.
Yeah, basically. I'm just going to use Razor Leaf because we got that animation lying around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, this time, Bulbasaur versus Kingler, decent matchup, and Bulbasaur Vine Whips Kingler and kills Kingler in one hit.
Yep, boom.
Good job.
Done.
And then we montage to the rest of this. Pinsir, Cubone, Raticate, Bulbasaur crushes all of them, and Misty has won her first battle.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Just takes them out. Bulbasaur just flexing.
And then it's Jessie's turn to fight someone. She's up against a Primeape. She has stolen James's Weezing from him to fight.
So she's got Weezing and Arbok. And then
I was like, you can't win with only two Pokemon.
What other Pokemon could she have?
And then we get this incredible sequence.
Incredible.
it does that I don't know if I want to call it a cliche, because I still love it, where it goes back and forth between the two faces, getting slowly punching in closer and closer on their eyes.
Yeah, it's like Mexican standoff Dragon Ball Z kind of energy, which is flashing between their eyes and zooming in.
Before Meowth realizes, oh wait, I'm a Pokemon. And so she grabs Meowth and throws him into the fight first.
It's just like the Togepi episode.
Yeah.
He really is this creature who can walk the world of humans and Pokemon simultaneously.
And he gets fucking walloped by this Primeape. Murdered instantly. And so I don't know what Jessie was thinking, but she sends an Arbok next, who catches Primeape's fist in its mouth and injects him with poison, taking it out pretty quick. And then it's another montage time. We get...
We're just going to fly through this tournament. It's just frame after frame of Pokemon getting whooped.
Just to get us to the end where Misty and Jessie will meet each other, in the final match to determine who the winner will be of the Princess Festival.
Because you couldn't have seen that coming.
Yeah, of course, no.
That'd be kind of funny if one of them lost in the final battle. It was like Misty versus just some unknown normal person who's I'm just studying for the MCAT, and I guess this tournament seemed okay.
And so it's time for Jessie versus Misty. James and Meowth are ready to assassinate her.
They're dressed as mobsters, like New York mobsters.
Has a gun.
Yeah, he's
a sniper rifle.
He's got a Tommy gun.
They're like, fuck, I just knocked over the forepaw.
I heard that.
Shit. Anyway, they're ready to take her out. It's like, do you need us to deal with it for you? Okay.
Want me to take care of her?
Take care of you.
Don't tell me you're going to play by the rules, James says.
And then we get more backstory from Jessie. And James is like, is there going to be a flashback? Fourth wall, baby. Let's go. Jessie doesn't like the Princess Festival because she never got dolls as a kid. And the festival just reminds her of all the things she never had.
Oh,
the continuity here. Beautiful. Jessie was poor. I never really picked this up until these episodes, that Jessie and James are opposites in that. Jessie was really poor. James was really rich. I never noticed that contrast.
They've committed to that in the past, how many? 15 episodes maybe? But they had one slip up, which is the Jinx episode.
Yeah, where Jessie was on a fucking mansion.
In a freaking castle. Yeah. And I still don't know what that was. But ever since then, you're right. I think they've been trying to pitch this narrative that they came to crime in different ways.
Aw. Heartwarming story. No matter who you are, you can do crime.
It's an inclusive field.
Arson accepts everybody.
Right. Pickpocketing, the true equalizer.
It's Arbok versus Pikachu, but Pikachu blasts Arbok and Weezing and Meowth in quick succession.
It goes really quick, yeah. Pikachu's just been there, done that. He's like, I win every week. Why are we even trying?
She's like, Arbok, go! And Pikachu, off screen, we get the electric shock, and Arbok falls into frame dead. And then it's Weezing turn, and electric shock off screen, Weezing falls into the frame dead. Meowth, go! Electric shock off screen, Meowth falls into the frame dead. It's like boom, 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 10 seconds, it's done. Except
The
for
bodies
one
are piling
thing.
up.
Jessie
Except for
forgot.
one thing.
She caught a lickitung like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, good thing they brought that back. Imagine they put that in there at the beginning and then they forgot.
It's Chekhov's lickitung.
Yeah, it totally is. Well, she can almost taste the victory.
Pikachu goes for the Thunderbolt, but is interrupted by Lickitung's tongue. He just like places his tongue on Pikachu and freezes Pikachu
he just
in
blocks
place.
him. He just blocks the Thunderbolt from coming out with that big tongue.
And then Lickitung lands a good blow, and Pikachu's out.
Be careful you don't get a tongue lashing.
And so
Pikachu gets licked. It's dizzy.
And so Ash tells Misty to use Bulbasaur's vine to grab the tongue and block it. Doesn't work. Lickitung grabs Bulbasaur by the vines, licks him, tosses him out, and ooh, the music in this section.
I wrote down the music too. It's like these like synths that are kind of like pulsating, these like keyboards, and then they start kind of like going off and
It's
keyboard
beautiful.
shenanigans. But it's like, that kind of like 80s pump up song. Kind of like our intro and outro music, 80s synthwave by Alexi Action.
So it's Vulpix's turn. He gets licked and he's out. And it's just Starmie left.
Star me, star you, Psyduck. Which is it?
Yeah, she says star you.
She
Even though she says star me
even though she said
earlier in the
earlier
episode.
star me, but Psyduck
It doesn't
comes
matter.
out, so it doesn't matter.
So Lickitung does its thing, licks Psyduck. Psyduck, being himself, totally unfazed.
Nothing happens.
Love it.
His brain doesn't recognize that Lick does anything. I love Psyduck.
So Misty tells him to go for a water gun. Psyduck doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. What is water gun?
Fiorella
What is that move?
chimes in here. He's like, "Wow, just like in movies." Okay,
just like
is that a
in the
common
movie.
movie trope that like people get licked but
That
don't know it?
That ducks try
are
to
idiots.
shoot water out of their mouth, but they can't. I don't know.
The classic golden age movie trope of the duck getting licked and not realizing it. My favorite trope.
Well, if the duck's dead, it won't.
Well, that's true. And dark.
Lickitung is ordered to tackle, but it won't seem to listen for some reason. So it just keeps going for the tongue.
So we've got two Pokemon that don't listen. And, okay.
Now, I didn't remember this about Lickitung not listening to Jessie, so I'm gonna have to make note of that going forward.
See if
that is
they
something that
carry
continues.
that, or if that was just like a weird thing here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lickitung keeps going for the tongue attack. The lick. Psyduck is getting a headache. The Fiorella, I believe, mentions he's getting a headache.
He looks strained, like he needs an Advil.
Today's Pokemon episode is sponsored by ibuprofen. So it unleashes his latent psychic powers. Misty has Psyduck use Confusion to smack Lickitung with his own tongue, sending him rolling back into Team Rocket, and they go blasting off again.
Yeah, I love when like Tom and Jerry physics come into a Pokemon, because that's basically what this was. Pulls out the tongue all the way, lets it fly, smacks them to oblivion.
And Misty is the Princess Festival Queen.
Misty is so magnifico.
And she's won the doll set.
Yeah, what's she gonna do with those dolls? Do you approve of her plan?
She's gonna send them back to Cerulean Gym to make her sisters jealous. Which, I mean, that makes sense. She's sending them back home. You think she can carry all that shit with her this whole time?
Yeah, you know that now her sisters have them, though.
Well, yeah, but they're hers. She owns them. When she comes back, then she gets to take them back from him.
No, right.
So,
right. Rub in their faces.
Yeah. And so back to Team Rocket, Jessie's upset. Lickitung licks her and makes her fall over backwards. And we get one of the most iconic screen grabs of the entire show.
Really? The dolls part?
No. Where Jessie's laying on her back and Lickitung is facing her, tongue out, looking like he's about to do some things.
Ew. I didn't know that was
it's gross.
I didn't know that was a meme.
That's definitely it's absolutely a meme.
There you go. Learning about weird memes.
But James and Meowth know that Jessie's upset about losing this tournament. And so I don't even know what this is. Did they make a doll set? Are they pretending to be dolls?
I think they're pretending to be the doll set. Yeah.
But then Jessie is in there too, and she talks. I'm confused.
Well, because she almost sounds like they've all been like teleported to some Twilight
Yeah.
Zone horror show.
It's that Sabrina
Yeah.
episode again.
I don't know. They're like, I guess we'll be our own dolls. What a fate.
Whatever it was, that was the episode.
That's the episode.
Yeah.
So are you gonna pick up your balls while I do literary hour?
I'm gonna try to keep my headphones on while I do this, but yes.
Yeah.
Go for it.
This one was a little bit tough. I wanted to think of, though, a situation, I guess, that results in the whole female cast of something warring. So I'll use this chance to shout out what is a pretty good graphic novel series, ran from 2002 to 2008, called Why the Last Man. So this was a story where all living mammals with the Y chromosome simultaneously are wiped out. Okay, and I don't remember if it was some kind of a virus or disease that does it, but somehow every living mammal with a Y chromosome, so all the males, are wiped out except for one man named Yorick Brown and his capuchin monkey named Ampersand. And so these two male characters now have to navigate a world where basically like a dystopian post-apocalyptic thing has emerged. And there's all kinds of different factions of women, some who are trying to get to Yorick, for breeding purposes. Others want to kill him due to like extremist kind of beliefs, thinking that humanity's extinction is, the inevitability. And this results in a whole bunch of, it's quite a bit more complicated than that, but like basically a war of women, which is what this episode was about. The war of women. But I remember this being a pretty good comic series. I only read a few volumes, and this was quite a long time ago because it was coming out when I read it. But pretty good series, and I believe it's the kind of graphic novel that usually like libraries will carry. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, check your local library.
Cool.
Yeah, you got your balls picked up, boy.
I won't go check out my local library, but you know what? You can.
That was a shout out to non-degenerates.
Shut up. I know the value of a library. I just don't read like ever.
That's fine. I mean, I'm recommending comic books though. So it's not that pinky up. It's not that highbrow.
Yeah, so I knocked over the forepaw. I got cleaned up. I think the bigger headline here is I finally got a bigger picture.
Oh, big picture time.
Finally. I've been talking about this for months at this point. Speaking of months, do you know we've been doing this for 6 months now?
Holy smokes. Happy anniversary.
This is episode 26. That's half a year.
Oof, that's
ridiculous.
Half a year. What a milestone.
All right.
Does that mean we're real podcasters?
I think so. I think I read a stat that like the vast majority of podcasts don't make it past like 5 or 10 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Like that. So we're in a very like small percentage
we're above average.
Total podcasts, yeah. Wow. So yeah, I finally got a bigger picture so I can actually root around in this thing. If I can remember when I'm doing the video version of this episode, I'm gonna take a picture of the 4-pore 1.0 with all the balls in it and the 4-pore 2.0 to compare because this thing
check
is
us out on the Hydra Leech YouTube
bigger.
channel to see those pictures in action. We've got the 4-pore growth expansion version up documented.
Or you can, I think you can view video on Spotify as well, so you can check that one out too if you're listening on Spotify.
There you go. Right.
But yeah,
right.
Let's get to...
There are video modes in Spotify now, yeah.
Let's get to the rating, pick out 2 categories.
Here we go.
Rank the episode objectively based on that.
Based on these 2 random categories, since it's random, that means it's objective. That's science, folks.
And our first category for Princess versus Princess is the plot.
Okay.
What plot?
It's a tournament arc. I mean, I love me a tournament arc, but that is as vanilla as it comes. What else is there a plot? There's the lickitung there.
Which it does have ramifications
Misty
in
and
the show moving
Jesse's
forward.
backstories. You did enjoy the parallels between Jesse and James here. I don't think this is a complete write-off. It's not higher than a 5, though. It's just a tournament.
I'd meet you at a 5.
Okay.
There is the one main impact it has on future episodes in that Jesse does have lickitung now. And so, that is something to look at.
There you go. And some nice themes, but yeah. Some weird themes, too. But, you win some, you lose some. And tournament arcs really are the the five out of 10 of anime. I mean, they're awesome, but they're paying your taxes. They're just something you got to do.
They get the bills done.
They get the bills paid.
Category number 2 will be the soundtrack.
Oh, we got the keyboards.
This was good.
That was a good keyboard song.
I'm gonna quickly go and refresh my memory as to exactly what this soundtrack was here. Oh yeah, there we go. It hits.
That's the stuff, baby.
Yeah.
It's at least a 7 for me. At least.
It's so good. It's so good. I love it.
Right, isn't it like 80s Synthwave by Alexi Action?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm saying 8.
Okay.
Just for that one.
I can do 8.
All right. So 5 and 8, 13.
Any episode that has like a unique track and it actually does stand out.
Mm-hmm. So 6.5 for Princess versus Princess.
Pretty strong.
Pretty decent. Better than last week's.
We've had much better episodes score much worse.
Much better than last week's 2.25 and 2.5.
Yeah, those were garbage.
Garbage
Toss them
episodes.
in the trash and
Get
burn
them the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Togepi, who cares?
Togepi? More like pee on Togepi. No, that's
And with
gross.
that, let's move on to episode 55, the Purr-fect Hero. Purr-fect Hero. So on the way to Cinnabar Island still.
Speaking of Togepi, Togepi's back.
Yeah, Togepi's here. Ash still wants that volcano badge. It's Ash's favorite day this time. It is Kid Day.
Right. So now are you this is also a real holiday.
I assume so.
It takes place in Japan on May 5th, and it's the final celebration in Golden Week. Golden Week is a big deal because it's basically a string of public holidays. And
sounds awesome.
I mostly recognize it as a big deal because it's the 1 week that new issues of manga don't come out. So whenever you go and check the Shonen Jump app and there aren't new chapters, you're like, it's Golden Week, okay.
So Misty wishes that they could play around all day, just like when they were kids. Except they are kids. They are 10.
Yeah, she's like, 10. When you're 10 in this world, you gotta work.
Oh, back in the day, we used to play all the time on Kid Day. But now that we're 10, we have responsibilities and places to go, and we have to fend for ourselves out in the wilderness.
And we used to tie an onion to our belt, as was the fashion at the time.
Brock complains that Misty had her day with the Princess Festival, and that this should be a boys' holiday. And the continuity here, beautiful.
Yeah, this is actually, kind of sounds like a stupid gender joke in English, but this is actually, I looked into it, and this joke makes a lot more sense in Japanese. So Kids' Day, before I think the year was 1948, it used to be called Boys' Day. Because there would be the Princess Day in March and then Boys' Day in May. And it had some of these ornamentation around samurai, the karate and sumo, which are the things shown that Brock and Ash are doing when they're complaining about how she had Princess Day. So they're not just saying, oh, you already had Princess Day. They're saying that this should be Boys' Day. They're saying it used to be called Boys' Day and now it's Kids' Day. And it was changed in the 40s to be Children's Day to be more inclusive and also to celebrate mothers.
Wow, that's so woke, am I right?
Yeah, in the 40s.
Yeah.
See, anti-wokers, like inclusivity isn't a new movement.
Far from it.
Also, so at the when they're talking about Kids Day Festival, they notice they call them banners, but they're these Pokemon made up almost like they're normally fish. They're normally flying fish flags in the wind, like carp. So that's a real activity too, is having these banners. But in the episode, they show them as Pokemon, which was really nice. There's a Gyarados, a Magikarp, and a Goldeen as these carp banners.
Because if they were actual fish, we would have had a existential debate on what the hell these things are.
Yeah, and anything that saves me from as an existential crisis is a plus. Am I right?
Yeah, but the content. Think of the content.
Grown man has a meltdown talking about children's cartoons.
That was 2 weeks ago. That's
every
me
week.
Already. Yeah. So they come across this elementary school, this nursery school, and a teacher comes out, tells them, "Oh, we've been expecting you." Of course, Brock flirts with her
Immediately.
but she gets a call determines that the gang are not the trainers that she thought they were, but the trainers that were supposed to come and let the children play with Pokemon are not coming anymore. And so Brock volunteers them with a really good line. He gets very aggressive. He goes, "Those other trainers must be heartless."
Can't somebody think of the children?
Think of the children.
And Team Rocket's spying on all this from the bushes. They just love
Disguises
hanging out in
trees.
the bushes.
They don't have the binoculars this time, which is crazy.
Yeah, their eyesight got way better.
Usually the first time we see Team Rocket in an episode is through their little spyglass.
Maybe they lost them.
Maybe.
Rough day.
And so James gets a flashback this time. We had Jesse last time. This episode we get James. On Kids Day, he used to get the day off from school and go swimming and eat ice cream sandwiches. Jessie didn't have any of that. She didn't have a pool. She didn't get the day off from school, and she got bologna sandwiches with only one slice.
Only one slice.
And James is like, "Oh,
am I out of touch?"
What a horrible childhood that must have been. One slice of bologna.
So, did you know that this is a jelly donut effect moment?
I realized it later, but it was a lot more believable than jelly donuts. That they were ice cream sandwiches.
Right. It flows in a bit
Yeah.
smoother. So, for those who are just listening to this episode, the jelly donut effect is referring to when they translated onigiri or rice balls as jelly donuts in previous episodes. When they're clearly eating rice balls, they call them jelly donuts as if Western kids wouldn't understand what a rice ball is. So we use that jelly donut effect phrase to talk about kind of funny translation choices, or just translation choices, period, that kind of leave an impact. So there's a treat on Kids Day called Keshiwa Mochi. Mochi is like a kind of a chewy rice treat snack. It's like they pound rice down into where it's almost like a chewy sort of substance, and it can be quite good. And then lots of snacks are made from mochi. So these are mochi balls wrapped in oak leaves is the traditional snack that they then in English call ice cream sandwiches. And I believe there is a picture. They kind of looked like ice cream sandwiches, so it wasn't that out there. But the translation then, where Jessie says she only ate a bologna with one slice, apparently she made a joke there. There was a bit of a joke where she says she only ate actual oak leaves and didn't get the mochi. And James saying, "Oh, we would eat these all the time," and that he would fill his pool with leaves that Jessie didn't even get. So basically, they're contrasting how he would take the traditions of the holiday to inordinate levels, and she got like the bare scraps.
Mm-hmm. But
jelly donuts.
This makes things click in Meowth's head because he notes that a pathetic childhood can create a pathetic poison.
Oh,
got him.
Oh, Meowth.
Oh, burned at the stake.
He's a witch.
Back at the school, the kids come running out to meet the trainers and the Pokemon. Pikachu gets his face pinched by all of them, in a la the the ant pinching your cheeks, being, "Oh, you've grown so much. Oh, you were only this big when I saw you last." Ash gets him out of there just in time before he thunderbolts all these children, and he only thunderbolts Ash this time.
Yeah, well, Ash can tell that Pikachu was loose. Like Pikachu's gonna like pass out, and Ash is like, when Pikachu passes out, he shocks people.
Yeah.
He brings villages to their knees.
So the teacher tries to get the kids to calm down. She can't get them to calm down until she screams at them at the top of her lungs in this great little moment of animation.
Yeah, and this animation style happens, or this sort of event happens a couple times where she
Roll
just
thirds,
screams,
baby.
And her head becomes like 10 times the size, and she gets this big vein.
And the best part is that like this doesn't even like scare the kids or anything. They're just like, okay. This makes them listen.
Yeah.
And so the kids want to see more Pokemon. So Ash sends out Pidgeotto and Squirtle and Bulbasaur. Misty sends out all of her Pokemon. Brock sends out all of his. Notably, I think this is a smart move from Ash. He does not send out Charizard.
Oh, that's who he missed, right? Yeah. That is smart, Ash. Good on you.
Because this is the one time he would have realized, oh, maybe Charizard would kill these kids.
Those kids would be dead.
They'd be absolutely dead, yeah.
Yes, it would be the
Charizard
Matthew
Barbecue
McConaughey and Christian Bale movie, Reign of Fire, where dragons take over England. It would be that movie.
And then they're talking to the teacher, and I noticed in the background, Pidgeotto's just carrying this kid in the air.
I noticed that too. So all the kids are just playing with the Pokemon, and then while they're talking to the teacher, Pidgeotto's like 5 or 6 feet in the air, with just the kid like hanging off of him, and they just fly by in the conversation. Very nice touch.
Good background gag. I love a good background gag.
Yeah, love a good background gig.
One of my favorite background gags. Side tangent. One of my favorite background gags of any show ever. Did you ever watch the Muppet sitcom that aired for one season?
No, that sounds delightful.
In like 2015 or something. God, you got to watch it. It's on Disney Plus. There's a background because the whole show is that Piggy has a talk show, and it's the production of this talk show. So it's a workplace.
Okay, I did hear about that.
It's a workplace mockumentary with the Muppets. It's so
it's like The
good.
Office. Okay.
It was so good, and it got canceled after one season, and it's so underrated. But there's a background gag where during a conversation in the background, you can see Swedish Chef at the craft service table just licking all the muffins. It's great.
That works for me. That is humor. You have identified humor for me. Thank you.
I love that one. So back to Pokemon. No more Muppets. The gang notices this little guy hanging around all by himself. His name is Timmy, and he's not afraid of the Pokemon, but the only Pokemon he wants to meet is a Meowth. And
we got a Meowth fan.
And we get more backstory, more flashbacks.
Another flashback.
He was playing in the woods one day when he got attacked by a Beedrill.
How scary would a Beedrill be as
absolutely
a kid?
Terrifying.
I mean, he'd be scary as an adult, but as a kid, even worse. They're like the same size as you.
Mm-hmm. But a Meowth jumped in from nowhere out of a tree, saved him, and ran off. So this Meowth is his hero.
Brave Meowth.
Misty questions him if this Meowth could talk. If the Meowth asked if what did she say?
Well, so she impersonates him.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact phrase, but what's great is when she says it, her face looks like Meowth's.
Yeah. And so a gang of toddler bullies come up on Timmy again, and they're like, "Are you telling that Meowth story again? You know it's not real."
These kids are just hating.
They're just like shitting on him.
Are you lying again about Meowth? We're gonna beat you up, even though we're all 5. But we hate your guts, 5-year-old. You suck.
It's getting heated in there.
Oh yeah.
On the playground.
Oh yeah.
And suddenly, Team Rocket roll up as magicians.
In a van.
They're disguised. Gang doesn't recognize them.
Twistifying.
And their show is free for Kids Day, so they're gonna put on a magic show. And I noted that I thought this was going to be another one of those role reversal moments where it's a haha, it's funny. Jesse's dressed as the guy and James is dressed as the girl. Ha. But Jesse's not really dressed as a guy because her cleavage is on full display here.
Well, yes, magicians can come in different genders. So
well, obviously.
That's not exactly,
But like the suit is traditionally male.
Jesse's the lead, and she's got pants on in the whole bit, but James is wearing a pink dress.
Big pink dress, yeah.
Yeah.
They are in outfits that would traditionally be thought of as the opposite gender when anyone can wear whatever they want.
Right. And James is so brave.
James pulls it off. That's not the dress. He looks good in the dress. He doesn't pull the dress off.
To be a woman though, right? He's like talking in a high voice. Yeah. Is there a Pikachu in the audience? So for their first trick, they're going to make Pikachu disappear. There's nothing in the box. And they ask if there's a Pikachu in the audience. They take him, they put him in the box, and presto, he suddenly changed into a Meowth. The kids are so into this shit. They're like, Meowth, Meowth. Even though they were just making fun of Timmy for talking about Meowth before.
But that's the whole show. And they're trying to dart off. Ash finally realizes they look a little familiar. What was the giveaway, Ash? Was it the hair? And the Team Rocket reveals themselves. Kids don't care. They want to play with Meowth.
Yeah, they don't care at all. It's just a chance happening. They're just getting cut off by the kids being kids.
And kids start playing volleyball with wheezing. It's great.
And Team Rocket's like, quiet, we're just getting to the good part. The kids are just pulling on them. And then the teacher does her classic scream, giant head.
We get them to shut up. And then we get the smoke screen into the commercial break. What a cliffhanger.
Oh my God. What's going to happen?
So back into the show, Timmy dives to save Meowth in the smoke screen, knocks the box over. We see Pikachu tumble out. Team Rocket doesn't realize this. They take the box. They drive off. But Pikachu's okay. Timmy's missing, though.
Yeah, and so Pikachu gets reunited with Ash right away. Ash says he came back like magic. And so where's Timmy? Timmy's in the box instead of Pikachu.
Yeesh. Yeah, so Team Rocket goes to do the classic. We'll pull off the box, grab the net in quick succession, try to catch Pikachu in this net. But they left the box. They seem to have kidnapped a child.
They go, that's not a Pikachu.
What was your first clue?
It's a rare regional variant named Timothy.
So he's sad until he sees Meowth. And then he thinks it's the same Meowth.
I can't believe it's you, Meowth.
He's going to save him again.
Remember me? You're my hero.
And before Meowth can blow his cover, Jesse and James tell him to make the kid think he's the same Meowth. Because, quote, Team Rocket may be rotten cheaters, but we're not in the business of destroying children's dreams. At least not yet.
And Team Rocket may be liars, but one lie can make one of us a hero in the eyes of one little boy on Kids Day. Yeah, I wrote down those two sentences as well. Because
she said on Kids Day. I thought she said on Tuesday. That makes a little more sense.
No, on Kids Day.
That
but
makes
not
more
on
sense.
Wednesdays, only Tuesdays.
It's like, oh, that's interesting. Today takes place on Tuesday. That's good to know.
Yeah, sure. That was definitely a pair of sweet sentences.
So Meowth fantasizes of being a superhero and being beloved by children everywhere. He's very into it.
So he's like dressed up as Superman, but he's like signing autographs.
So Jesse and James, they're pretending that they're gonna kill this kid or something. They just come up on him and he's like, we'll show you how scary Team Rocket can really be.
Yeah, they're trying to be cartoon villains, which is funny because they are cartoon villains, but they're impersonating cartoon villains. It's like they kind of forgot that they are cartoon villains.
And so Meowth jumps in to defend Timmy again. He fury swipes Jesse and James across the face.
And actually slashes them in the face. They're like, your acting's a little too good, Meowth.
And he runs off with Timmy back to the school where the gang and the teacher, they're going to split up and search for Timmy, but he comes back in with Meowth. He has reunited.
Yeah, the teacher's flipping out again. Like, her head is always like 10 times the size of her body. Like, she could just float up into the stratosphere.
Misty notes that this wild Meowth looks a lot like the Meowth from Team Rocket. Interesting. So the kids play with Meowth.
You've come a long way from that Butterfree episode, Misty, where you said all Butterfree look the same. Now you can tell Meowth's apart.
She's
come a long way, Misty.
Yeah, changing as a person. It's beautiful to see. Love that character.
She checked her biases.
So the kids are playing with Meowth, and someone says, everyone loves Meowth. He lets it slip. He goes, that's right.
And then just starts profusely sweating. Anime sweat drops, great use of the trope, hilarious. Sweating all over, stepping back.
And he backs out, he makes a run for it.
He's overwhelmed.
And Timmy goes after him, and everyone else goes after Timmy. And they follow him to this big open area that's a dead end.
Yeah, kind of like a quarry that has mined.
And Team Rocket does their motto for the second time this episode with the music playing on a boombox.
Right.
Which begs the question, where does the music come from otherwise? Like, is the music there canonically?
I think it's like a shared experience. Like, everyone just hears it, but it doesn't actually physically sound. And
so Meowth tries to jump in on his cue, but Jesse and James swat him away. They fucking pelt him into the stratosphere. The kids are still fans of them from the magic show. Just hilarious.
So they're just like so Team Rocket's up on a boulder. The kids are surrounded them, cheering like they're at a Beatles concert in the 60s. Like rabid Paul and John fans. Sorry, George and Ringo.
Now it's battle time, because of course it is. We get a good multi-battle here. It's Jesse and James versus Ash and Brock. Arbok and Weezing versus Pidgeotto and Onix.
Love to see Onix fight, just because that is a Pokemon that, like, regardless of game mechanics, is so large that it just looks cool on screen.
Yeah, regardless of how garbage Onix is, giant rock snake, so cool.
Giant rock snake, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. And so smog fills the arena because that is Team Rocket's go-to these days, just make Weezing put smoke everywhere. But Ash has learned this trick. Pidgeotto gusts it away. But where's Arbok?
That's really the rock to Team Rocket's scissors.
But where's Arbok? He's dug underground. He rises from the ground, tries to go for Pidgeotto, and an actually, like, decently intimidating piece of animation.
Display? Oh, yeah. Like his fangs are out looking fierce. Arbok can look... Cool. Arbok is this, and we even saw this actually when Team Rocket first appeared, episode 2, that their Pokemon can be genuinely scary at times, and then like instantly flip to being buffoons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he goes for Pidgeotto, but Onyx comes in from the side, butts him right into the side of the mountain, and he goes from really intimidating.
Just hip checks him into a mountain.
And he goes from really intimidating to the big wide eyes, classic cartoony face. It's great.
Oh, Arbok does that face so good, where his eyes pop out,
Yeah,
like the coyote from Roadrunner. Yeah.
And so this impact on the hill causes a boulder to start rolling down the side of the mountain. We have to get the kids out of there because they'll get run over by this boulder and squashed, and blood will spray everywhere, and it's going to be a whole fucking deal.
Yeah, how do you get that cleaned up?
But suddenly,
how do you get kid blood out of grass?
Don't ask me. Okay. Suddenly, another Meowth jumps in from nowhere, kicks the boulder in twain.
This was so ridiculously cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this boulder's about to crush Ash and Timmy. A wild Meowth jumps over the Team Rocket Meowth's head and just karate kicks the boulder in half, saving the day.
It's beautiful.
Wow. Boulder karate kick Meowth style.
But there's another boulder that Jesse and James have ended up on top of, running in that circus fashion. Chases Meowth out of the area. They go rolling off again.
Meowth.
Yeah, that one. We go back to the school. We get the resolution, the final resolutions. Timmy is going to be just like the trio when he grows up. He's going to get into the league with Meowth. That's his dream. Maybe.
Yeah, so this Meowth's kind of hanging out with him and at the school now. We see the Meowth lounging up on the roof of the school. Very cute. That wild Meowth is very cute.
And he's a cat. So
yeah, he's a cat. Reminds me of my cat.
We like cats here.
Bouncing around during this recording, much like that wild Meowth. Hey, kitties, can you karate kick a boulder in half? I would love to see it. But don't hurt yourself. That'd be so sad.
And so the gang goes off. They leave, and we go back to Team Rocket. They're wandering by sunset, talking about something. I don't know. I didn't really care that much.
Oh, you could have been a hero if you kept silent. No, you guys need me too much, is what Meowth says.
Yeah, and then James has like some actual respect for Meowth. He's like, all Meowth always has a plan. And then he giggles about something. And that's the episode.
Yeah, that's about it. Not much of an exposition.
All right, hit us with a book. What are we looking at today?
Hit us with a fucking book. I don't even give a shit. Okay, so this is Literary Hour. So this episode uses a old trope called the false hero trope. Okay, so this is looked into it. It's an article on Wikipedia called False Hero. So it's a stock character in fairy tales, they say, also in ballads. But basically the idea is that this is a character that often is an antagonist or opposes the actual hero of the saga and has some false claim to the heroics and then they are eventually shown to be, false, to be grifters, and the hero saves the day, that sort of thing. So for a particular tale or book, one of the examples they give is called The Two Brothers, which is a Brothers Grimm story. Tale number 60 about a rich goldsmith and a poor broom maker. But it has a whole bunch of different avenues. But the part that has the false hero narrative is where there's a dragon that is kind of ravaging the town that they're at. And so the huntsman who trains these kids, I believe, or who trains the goldsmith's sons. I don't know. Whatever. We'll jump to the important part, which is that there's a huntsman who's going to go save the princess from the dragon. Okay?
It's like Shrek.
So, exactly. So the huntsman cuts off all 7 heads of the dragon, and he cuts out his tongues. Okay? But after the battle, he is exhausted, and the marshal of the village, who is corrupt and evil, kills the huntsman. And then claims the princess's hand in marriage, saying to the town that he slew the dragon, takes the dragon's heads back. In the meantime, though, later, the huntsman gets revived by magic, and a year later comes back to the village and confronts them, claiming that, the marshal did not indeed kill the dragons. What is his proof? Look in the dragon's heads, which he has mounted on the wall. there are no tongues. Where are the tongues? The huntsman has the tongues because he cut them off back during the battle. And thus the marshal is shown to be a fraud and is executed by the village, and the huntsman is the true hero, and he gets the princess's hand. So that is the false hero trope in a nutshell, and that is what is happening in this episode, although luckily Meowth doesn't get executed when he is outed, because that would be fucked up.
But think of the content. That would be good
and
TV.
Meowth was now hung in the town square for all to see, given the guillotine. Oh, God. Meowth guillotine fan art. Meowth peasant guillotine
Yes, please. Action. All right. For Purr.
Yes, now our last thing is we're going to rank this episode as well for Pour It Up. For a Purr-fect Hero.
Can actually mix these balls up. It's great. Oh, I love it.
That
All
ASMR.
Right. Category number 1 for the Purr-fect Hero. Team Rocket schemes.
Okay, so...
Not bad. It almost worked.
So their scheme, though... is the Pea-kachu theft, like normal. That's true that it was kind of working. They are so obvious. The gang should really realize who they are right away. But then the later, more of the substantial scheme for the episode plot is around Meowth pretending to be the wild Meowth, which doesn't really work. It's kind of dumb, and them pretending to be cartoon villains. That was all kind of whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
I'm gonna say this tops out at a 6.
I was saying 5, so yeah. Sure.
Okay, I'll go 6. So we got a 5.5 on the Team Rocket scheme. If you disagree with us, cool. You can shout us out in the comments, or you can email us at 2kill@delibird@gmail.com.
Well, no, if you don't agree with us, that's not right. You're not right. This is objective. So
if you disagree with us, you're inobjective.
So send us a heated email at killadelibird@gmail.com.
You're non-objective.
Category number 2.
Inadvertently non-objective.
Category number 2 will be the Pokemon variety. So not bad. It is all of the gang's Pokemon, but we see them all in one go.
Pokemon, yeah. So not bad variety.
Everything but Charizard.
Yeah, love the Pidgeotto with the kid shot. Not really much any new Pokemon, but seeing a wild Meowth for one of the first times was pretty refreshing.
You don't really see any of Misty's Pokemon apart from when she sends them out.
Right. But getting Onix and Pidgeotto in a battle again was very nice.
Yeah.
So I think that's a perk.
That's 6 for me.
Yeah, I'll go with 6. Yeah. So we got 6 and 5.5.
11 point. Oh, that's just easy. Just
5.75.
Yeah. I forget sometimes that I can just literally just find the halfway point.
Forget the cheats. You forget the cheats to averaging.
I just know averages.
Get this
add them all up
an average cheat sheet.
All right. Well, 5.75 for the Purr-fect Hero. And
not bad.
Is what we got for you today.
Yeah, that's our festival holiday arc in a nutshell. We opened with a list of terrible festivals, went into some fun ones. What do you think of the show? What are we doing right? What can we change? Like I said, you can shout us out in the YouTube comments. This is on the channel Hydra Leech, where Kellen uploads the episodes. You can also find us anywhere fine podcasts are downloaded. You can also email us at 2kill@delibird@gmail.com. Intro and outro music is 80 Synthwave starring Alexi Action. One last item. Kellen, what's happening next week?
You remembered. Finally.
Sometimes I don't have amnesia.
Next week, we're looking at episode 56, The Case of the K9 Caper, and episode 57, Pokemon Paparazzi.
Oh, paparazzi. Sounds unethical.
I do want to say, we're getting close to the end of this filler here. We're getting real close to seeing Blaine.
Oh, thank God.
Finally.
It's been a long trek through the Sahara Desert to filler. Remember when the show had arcs? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
From now, it will be 3 weeks until we see Blaine.
Okay. So that's still a while. Oh my God.
It's 2 To Kill a Delibird episodes. And then the episode after that is Blaine. In the grand scheme of how long we've been in the filler, it's not far off.
In the grand scheme of filler, it's less full than it would be if it was fuller. Got it.
Exactly.
Yeah. All
right.
Words.
Yeah, that's it. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we hope. And if we don't,
we'll find you.
And I'll cry.
We know where you'll sleep.
And Kellen will sigh.
And I'm gonna go sear a steak because I'm fucking starving.
It's like kind of late for a steak, no?
Yeah, but I've barely eaten today. So.
Oh, you better sear that steak.
Oh, I'm gonna.